Mr. Phil Galehouse. Where's Phil? He's out there somewhere. Thank you for hanging in there with us in all this wind. Really appreciate it.
Can you hear me okay? So I don't know how I can outdo Jim, but I have a few props. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to do this a little differently. Rick Mejia, you can all read about him in the program, but he's a very proud individual and loves baseball. You can't hear me? You can't hear me? You can't hear me? All right. Anyway, I'm going to try to keep this fun, and I'm going to do it a little different, I think. First of all, in traditional Hall of Fame inductions in the big leagues in Cooperstown, they normally introduce the inductee with the team that he wants to be inducted with. And I'm going to go along those lines. Rick and I had a conversation last Tuesday. He was priming me for this. He's worried about what I'm going to do to him tonight. I'm not going to do anything bad, Rick. But this man has a love for the game. And in so far as my knowledge of Rick is primarily from 1994 on through men's senior baseball, and here with our new Field of Dreams, Alan, incredible. All you guys have played with, almost everybody out here, incredible people. But Rick has always talked to me about his earlier days, which you'll read in the program. But the few things that come to my mind, Rick, is a lot of you maybe been to my house through other Hall of Fame parties and what have you. I have a batting cage there. And Rick used to come from 94 on and hit with me over and over and over again. And then tell me his stories and when he's growing up and how he was all Chile, L.A. He was a accomplished high school baseball player, and one day he came to my house and he goes, "Phil, look at this. I'm not kidding you." He brought me a LA Times article with him being all LA with George Brett and a whole bunch of people like that. From there, he went to Pepperdine. And I don't know if he ever graduated from Pepperdine, because he's played for everybody that's ever played at Pepperdine, right? I mean, he supposedly graduated in '74, but I got to ask Key, is that really true? Because everybody that played at Pepperdine, he's played with them. Anyway, so from that particular point of view, on Tuesday when we met for lunch, I go, "Rick, how do you want to be remembered in the men's senior baseball league, and how you want to come into our Hall of Fame and what team it was?" And we played from '94 to 2002 on the Mariners. And that's the team I came on in '93, and we were the doormat of the league then. In '94, we picked up Rick, Jeff Chandler, Jeff Locious, Tommy DeFazio, and Chuck. Anyway, we picked up about 5 really good players, and Rick was one of them, and we did very well from '94 to 2001. So we played together on the Mariners that way. I went in 2008 as a Mariner. The debate was, should it be the A's or should it be the Mariners? Because we played on the A's, Joe Soto and Pat Kelly, A's from 2002-ish to 2018. So from that standpoint, we came to conclusion. So I brought a Mariners jersey, Rick, for you to put on tonight. You're going in as a Mariner. That's how they do it in the big leagues. That's kind of how I wanted to do it. So I want to try to keep this short, and I'm going to use some props because Rick Mejia calls me Roomy. So if we were teammates for all those years, about 22 years together, I don't know how many times we went to Las Vegas, how many times we went to Phoenix, Florida, numerous times. And what I brought for my props was a lot of championship game loss fat bags. Rick used to say, Phil, how do you get a ring? I was fortunate in '95 to get a ring my first time around in Phoenix, and then subsequently got several rings, and now we're in 2004, 5, 6 in a father-son tournament. And Rick and Ty, his son Ty, were on the same team. We finally get a ring together in a father-son tournament. What Rick has going on now, while I'm on the father-son thing and the Val Lewis thing, which is some of the greatest opportunities ever, great baseball, some of the best baseball I've ever played is father-son. And Rick's got the opportunity to play with Rick is going to be grandpa, his son Ty will be his son, and his grandson Jordan. How awesome is that when you can step on a field and play with 3 generations of quality baseball? Incredible. Key. I don't know how much baseball you've seen of Rick. I know you've seen more than I have when he used to be able to run and he used to be able to catch balls over the wall. And he's still, you know, in his head, that guy. All right? But Rick, we get a little older. And anyway, with Rick, he's my roomie, and that's where I'm going to go now. So that's the past. But being a roomie, you're in these hotels and in cars and talk about family, talk about baseball, talk about life. And I had the opportunity to do that a lot with Rick. Rick is one of the prettiest players I've ever seen, not only on the field, but off the field. He dresses well. He takes care of himself well. I now have it's kind of like a bromance, but not really. And I have a new bromance with Wayne Grapes, who's helped me with a few props tonight. So from that perspective and our bromances, I've put this bag together of what room stuff has happened in our 22 years of rooming together. So, I played with Rick again on the Mariners, the A's primarily. He's now a National, right? He's on the Nationals. And I know he's the old man on the Nationals. So we're going to start with, if I ever get to room with you again, some depends. Because, well, I'll let the Nationals explain that. But anyway, that's that. Rick has many talents. and he's very, very conscious about his looks. And I was with him Tuesday, and I noticed his hair has got no gray in it again. He goes, "This is my natural hair." No, it isn't, Rick. I've got you some just for men colored. Oh boy, we're digging now. I don't know if you all know this, but Rick has deep baseball roots. P's dad, right? He was the voice of the Oakland A's announcing batters coming into the batter's box. Roy Steele. Roy came and watched us up in Auburn not long ago, and unbelievable guy. Rick got to be around a lot of Major League Baseball stuff through his dad and just being around the Oakland A's. And he was a Sacramento A for I don't know how many years. But has anybody noticed? Oh, his hair is always in place, so we got some hairspray. So when Rick comes to my batting cage, and before we go to games, we would go to Tres Semanas. Is that how you say it, Rick? Tres Semanas? The three sisters are cousins. I don't know what it means. Oye, como va? He would always bring me these red tamales. He brought them Tuesday at our lunch. He didn't know I already did all this stuff. So, Rick, you didn't hit very many triples. So I got you 3 red tamales. See? ¿Qué pasa? Oh, I guess I better get rid of this. So, oh, more stuff for a roomie. Hair dryer. The dude runs a hair dryer like I've never seen before. He makes women blush. What else do we have? Crying? There's no crying in baseball, right? How many umpires are here tonight? There's a few. So I have a dual situation here with the baseball bat. One of the most embarrassing things you can do in baseball is be in the batting cage and break your bat. Well, Rick used to throw a lot of BP to me, and he broke my bat in just batting practice. But worse than that, he broke my bat in a opposing team. He thinks he's Fernando Valenzuela, and he does this, right? So if you're an umpire, I've got some stats here that I looked up, but Rick has a better eye than an umpire, just ask him. And if he didn't like the call, he'd draw a line. I saw him get tossed at least 3 times. So you owe me a bat. And by the way, Kenny, you told me this bat was crooked, so I used that one. Oh boy, we're almost done. But here's your comb. Here's your eye drops. Here's your wipes. Oh my gosh, what is that? Oh, a little Tylenol, Advil for the. But I used to be in the car with Rick, and that guy has pipes. He can sing. So I thought I'd bring a microphone so I could sing La Bamba, which I found my old Walkman and a La Bamba tape. Found a 2-way mirror, Rick. So your hair's all perfect. And you can look in the mirror, and there's a mirror on the other side, so you can see the mirror on the wall at the same time. Last but not least, well, maybe not, a little mouthwash every once in a while. We have too many tacos. What else you got? Oh, there's a little. Oh, this is probably inappropriate, but I'm going to do it anyway. My dad used to buy me Playboy magazines. I only read the articles. But on the cover of this particular magazine is Pamela Anderson. And if you know anything about Pepperdine baseball, she was one of the biggest contributors to the new field that Rick helped build. Just like Babe Ruth built the house that the Yankees, right? So Rick's 74 Pepperdine team kind of built the house of Pepperdine, except Pamela Anderson contributed a lot of money to that. So I thought it was, I'm sorry, but I drew it in. So Rick, I think you're almost off the hook. Why don't you come on up here and show your beauty and get all your gifts. I hope this is a little different. Appreciate it. But I did sign a baseball for you, Rick. Hall of Fame 2022, Mariners and the A's, and 74 WAC champ. A few things that we talked about over time. Isn't he beautiful? Isn't he sweet? I have to sleep with one eye open, though. All right, Rick. Congratulations, Rick. All right. And this is all yours except a few things, okay?
Good, thanks.
You get to clean up.
You don't trip on it.
Okay, I've got a couple things to say. One is, you are no longer my roomie, Phil. Okay. Jeez Louise. I thought this was a baseball thing, not a personal life thing that was going on here. But anyway, thanks, Phil.
I'm going to clean up what you said.
Okay. So, my goodness, what can I say? First of all, it's great to see all of you folks out here, Dave, and everybody. One person I don't think is here. I wish he was. Kenny Chavez, is he here? Maybe not. Okay. All right. So I'm going to incorporate 50 years of baseball into a 50-minute conversation. I'm going to be longer than Jim. So I'll try and make this real quick here. I timed it, only came out to 49 minutes. So, but anyway, on a more serious note here, first of all, I just want to give all the credit and thank to the Lord, because if it wasn't for Him, none of us would be out here today. You know, we've been through a lot of stuff the last 2.5 years, and it's just a great opportunity for all of us to be here tonight and just share all these things that we got. A few thanks here. I want to give my appreciation again to the MSBL organization, starting with Alan Van Ness, the president, and then Jim Tigret, former president and chairman of the Hall of Fame, and to all of my past and current managers, Bruce Nelson, and then our guys Joe Soto and Pat Kelly, and then David Maldonado of the Nationals, and down the line to also all the players that are here tonight and all the players that have played in the past, because if it wasn't for the players, we wouldn't even have this ceremony today. All my family and friends that are here. I've got a brother who drove down from Reno, and my grandson Jordan came up from Phoenix, from Grand Canyon University, going back home, and then my daughters Ricky and Chelsea, and my son Titus, and all his friends, and one person I want to give special recognition to tonight. I didn't think he was coming. Drove up from San Diego with his wife and his daughter Katie, and my teammate at Pepperdine 52 years ago, number 22, Scott Wagner. Scott, can you, he was one of the relievers along with Mike Scott, Hall of Fame, There, hey Scott. Thank you. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for coming. Okay, and page 2 of 19 pages there. Okay, so how can I summarize this on? Can you hear me? Thanks. Okay, can you hear me? Hear me okay? Okay. All right, so how can I summarize 50 years of ball, college ball and MSBL? Pretty tough, but I'll just try and highlight just a few things. Just want to start off by saying that we all love the game of baseball. You know, a lot of great communications, a lot of great relationships we've made. But for me, baseball was a little bit different. It was a game, but it was also God's path for me in life. Let me explain that a little bit. There's a verse in the Bible in Isaiah 55 that says, "As the heavens are above the earth, so are God's ways higher than your ways, and His thoughts than our thoughts." So my thought was, I'm going to Pepperdine. Well, as Phil mentioned a little bit, I grew up in South Central LA. Pretty tumultuous times. We had the Watts riots down there at that time. The Vietnam War was on, and so was the draft. And so my thought was, I'm going to go to UCLA and be a Bruin, so I could beat the Trojans. And had a scholarship there, but I couldn't go until January. Well, the draft was going on for the war, and then Pepperdine called me, and so I went there. And then it really changed my life there because I met this gal, and she was watching this guy play intramural football, and she's clapping and yelling at this guy, and I come up to her and I go, "Hey, who's that guy you're clapping to?" Didn't know this gal. "Oh, that's my brother." And I said, "Great, I think I got a chance here." So a few days later, Phil mentioned to it, and this was just really crazy. She says to me, this gal says to me, "You want to meet my dad?" I said, "Sure." 1972, Phil, trivia for you. Who was playing in the World Series in 1972? Ouch, a lot of you guys weren't even hardly born then. 1972 LA Dodgers Oakland A's. So her dad comes out, and I meet him, and he's got this deep, billowing voice. He said, "How you doing there, young man?" He's decked out in an Oakland A's hat, Major League jersey. Come to find out, and if any of you have been to A's games or Giants games, you know who he is. That's Joy Steele, the Oakland A's announcer for the last 58 years. So I thought, wow, this is a slam dunk. Her dad's in Major League Baseball. I play college ball. I'm going to marry this chick. Well, it wasn't a slam dunk, and it wasn't easy, but I came home with her. "Key, would you stand up?" That's my wife right there. Coming up on, I think, 49 years being married to her. So I got just a couple stories here. You know, we all have stories when we're playing, but here's some crazy stories. So we're playing Phil, I think we're playing the Giants. Jim Barr's on the mound, and he was a senior at USC. I was a freshman, so we played 1 year against each other in the NCAA playoffs. And so fortunate enough to get a hit it off the wall at McAuliffe when I was like 41, and we all could, hit the ball farther and throw faster, Greg, And so get the hit, come into home plate, and Phil, my roomie, says, "Hey Rick, if you were 5'10", that probably would have gone out." Okay. 5'10", yeah, it wasn't quite 5'10 now. Oh, 5'10", okay. Thanks, Phil. Well, you're a real clown, aren't you, Phil?
Do I know you or do I know you?
You do know me. So that same game, I come into home plate. I'd gotten a double, and my wife says, and she's poker face after the game. She goes, "Hey Rick, do your legs hurt?" I go, "No." "Did you pull like a hamstring or something?" I go, "No." "Why you ask?" "Because you are really slow out there." So thank you, dear. Thank you, dear, for that. Ouch. So those were some great times. And then, like Phil said, I went from the A's to the Nationals. And this just happened like about 3 weeks ago. And this, tops the cake from all the comments from Joe Soto and Pat Kelly. I'm standing right here in the dugout. And David Maldonado and the other guys are in the dugout out here. They're laughing, I'm coming up to the plate. And I look over, and they're still laughing. And then it dawns on me, are you laughing about me? Did I miss the joke? He goes, well, no, tell me the joke, David. You go, no, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I said, go ahead, I can handle it. My son says there's no mental midgets in playing baseball. I said, okay, okay. So David, tell me. Okay, I'll tell you. So he tells me the joke, and I said, are you kidding me? That's what I'm thinking. And what David said was, the guys are saying Ricky's got to take off his Depends running the bases because it slows him down. But I could handle it. So thanks, David. So the Depends were part of that whole process. So, but anyway, I just want to thank everybody for the opportunity of being inducted by the committee, and all the guys we're part of, and all the ball players that we play with. It's awesome. It's a blessing to be there, and all I can say is God bless all of you, your families, and God bless America. Thank you.